I'm in the part of the editing process a lot of you guys might relate to. You've gone through, you've chopped up your footage, you've maybe even added some speed ramps and some effects, but you're looking at the video and the music or the song, and it just doesn't feel like it matches the same energy. If you can relate to that, drop a like, because in this video, I'm gonna go through and show you how to add zooms, hits, shakes, everything to make your music match your edit. That way it looks way more professional and just not bland like a lot of the edits you see online. So this is what I've come up with so far.
I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. Know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. Bitch, we in Philly with 3,000 rounds. Nobody want smoke, we got beef out town.
So you can see I've gone through and chopped up the footage from the Chill Bay music video to the Lightyear song, both coming from Eternal Take, and it matches the beats of the song. I cut it to the beat. You can see here all the different cuts on different beats. That's something that a lot of you guys should know by now. If you don't, you can go watch some of my other videos on flow, but that is what I've done so far, but it just doesn't have the energy I'm looking for. It's a very energetic song. I want some zooms, I want some shakes, and I'm gonna show you how to do all of that right now. So let's go through and add some zooms. I think it's a great way to start adding energy to your song. Now, a lot of you guys might go in, if you wanna add zooms to your footage, use the motion under effects controls and scale. But if you wanna add real energy to your video, you have to be using the transform effect. And I'll show you why, because it's the same thing. You can still scale in, but when you keyframe the scale from, we'll start it off at 100 and we'll zoom in to 115. So it has a zoom. So now you can see it has this zoom, which is basically what the motion scale effect does. But now we can go through and uncheck use composition shutter and then change that shutter angle from anywhere from like 180 to 360. And it's going to have motion blur now. So it might not be super noticeable because we're not zooming out a lot. But if you go through and change this to like 160 or something, you'll see how like the motion blur on the sides is like really zoomed in. So if we play that, you can see there's a lot of motion blur, right? So I like a little bit more zoom in. Let's go ahead and do something maybe like 150, and we can even keyframe the position. That way we're just zooming into exactly where we want. Like we can zoom into Uzi a little bit more, and then we have that. So you can see this is the clip beforehand, and this is the clip after. So it just has a little bit more movement. And in this quick kind of edit I'm going for, I do want it to be a little bit more energetic because it's something that's only 10 seconds versus a whole music video. So in this part of the edit, the song's kind of building up to this drop. So having some like kind of dramatic zoom ins is gonna build up that tension. I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. So I am envisioning we go through and we start this very zoomed in, maybe like 160. Keyframe the position as well, and then we go to the end and scale it out. And then I'm gonna highlight these end keyframes and go to temporal interpolation and go to ease out and then drag them all the way to the end and make sure to add that shutter angle back at 180. And now you can see how it has a little bit more like movement, right? Like this is it before and this is it after. So it's like building up to this drop. So now we've added some pretty dramatic zooms into these first two clips. So now let's see what we can go through and add on these other clips that are a little bit more like now energetic. Know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. I'm thinking we can do something here around this time. Let's add transform here, scale and position, and then go through and just reset it. Ease out. You can see how it just adds a little bit more motion here. You got to make sure to add that shutter angle. Of course, now there's some motion blur, and we can probably even start from a more intense spot. And I like to go through and add zooms based on the beat. So you can see here, there's a little hit. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and add a transform and then scale, keyframe the scale, go back one frame, and I'm gonna go through and show you how to do this one technique that I like to use. It's kind of like a crash zoom. So you can see here on the audio wave, there's this hit. So I want to kind of like crash zoom right around here. So we're gonna add the transform effect on and then keyframe the scale here. And then we can go back like 1, 2, maybe even 3 frames, keyframe it to 100. And then where that beat hit is, we can go ahead and maybe add a little bit of like a zoom. And then we can also do the ease out. So you can see now it has that nice little just zoom in for more energy. And because the next clip is the same clip, it like kind of cuts out and it looks weird. So what we can do is just, because it's not actually keyframing anything, just change it to 130 so that way it matches. That way it's not like a weird cut back to 100. And then here, maybe just a little bit of focus on the people falling down. So what we can do is kind of go to the end here. Ease out. And then kind of just go in with the theme. This can just be a little like zoom transition. So we'll do like 3 frames, reset to 0, ease out. That way it just starts a little zoomed in. Kind of has a little bit of that, like you can see what's kind of doing here. Probably even start it a little bit more zoomed in. And then for those 3 frames, make sure to add that motion blur as always. There's just a little bit more energy like that versus like if you just have it a plain shot, you see? And then on this last clip, we'll just do a subtle, because it's kind of like the end of the edit. Let's start at like 1:15 zoomed in and then just have it slowly zoom out. So I'm gonna go through and just remove all of the transform effects we just added so we can see a before and the after. So this is gonna be before. This is no zoom effects or nothing.
I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. Know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. Bitch, we in Philly with 3,000 rounds. Nobody want smoke, we got beef out town.
Looks good. I don't think anything's necessarily wrong with it, but now when we go through and add our zooms, we're already starting to see a lot more energy, as you can see here.
I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. Know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. Bitch, we in Philly with 3,000 rounds. Nobody want smoke, we got beef out town.
So obviously the zooms aren't the only thing that's going to be adding energy in here. A lot of what we're going to be getting the energy from is the hits, the shakes, the flashes, the transitions. And I'm going to show you how to do that with the secret sauce that just came out. My good friend Tiny Tapes just released this plugin for Premiere Pro called FASTFX. He's had these really killer preset packs in the past before, but now he's turned it into a plugin. It's way more customizable. I'm gonna be using this in Premiere Pro all the time because adding presets aren't as customizable as this. So I'll have this link down below as well as a code for you to get $5 off. It's an absolute no-brainer if you're trying to edit in Premiere Pro and add energy. There's hits, transitions, flashes, and wipes. I'm gonna go through and show you how to transform your footage from bland to a very energetic, matching the vibe of the song here. So getting started now, more so than ever, I'm looking at the beat. So you can see when we start off,
I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. Know some nigga.
The really obvious hit here is this one. So let's go ahead and start here because it's the big drop. We want to have something really cool. So when you go through, you can preview by clicking on one of them and it'll kind of show what the effect looks like. This one looks actually really cool. We'll probably use that one, the hit wipe with a flash. There is some with zoom. I think a zoom one would look pretty cool. I think maybe like, yeah, quick zoom with flash. So now we go ahead, select that. And then this is a really important step to use the plugin. So wherever you want the effect layer to take place on, you want to go over here. You see where it says V1 and V2. You want to make sure that the layer above your footage, it should be completely blank, like no video footage on it at all, is highlighted. So for us, it's V2. So we're going to go V2, select that, make sure V1 isn't selected. And then we're going to go to quick zoom with flash and we want to apply it. So all we do is now go ahead and click the apply fast effects. It's going to take a second. And then I like that. Let's go ahead and also try out that one that I really like, the hit wipe with a flash. I think that one looks really cool. Let's see what the difference is. And also it's important to note wherever your playhead is, when you go ahead and apply it is where the center of the transition is going to be. So we can go ahead and click check and you can see it goes a few frames to the left and a few frames to the right. So it's a perfect way to have a transition. I like this one a lot actually. It just isn't exactly what I'm looking for on this transition. Let's go back to that quick zoom with a flash. We'll use that one in a second here. So when this portal closes, we absolutely need some kind of shake or something. Maybe that hit wipe will be really good here. And then also like where it goes down, down. We need something here. Maybe we'll just use this one again. Honestly, that was pretty fire. So let's see. Yeah, it just adds a little bit more like shake throughout. We could even probably do it a second later. So let's like maybe put it here. So it kind of looks like there's like some shake going by from the UFO. It's all about playing with it. I'm going to do it a little bit earlier. That should be good. And I want to show you some of the transitions. So there's a lot of different transitions. Like there's shakes, there's CRT stuff. So if you like glitchy kind of CRT looks, this one could be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and find a spot for that actually. Maybe somewhere around here. And the CRT ones have some audio on it. So it's the same concept. Wherever you want the audio layer to play, that's where you're going to apply it. So for example, we have the song here. So we wouldn't want A1 selected because then it would go over the song. So we want it in A2. So you can see it will go below. And let's do this CRT3. And what we need to do to get it to apply is select the clip beforehand. So you can see this is where we want the transition to take place. So let's select the first clip and then go ahead and click check. And what it's going to do is chop up your footage, put the overlay, do a bunch of stuff, and even add the sound effects. And we can go ahead and turn down the audio on this a little bit as well. I think it's just a little loud. And let's use the shake with flicker right here as well. And then going through all the different tabs, these wipe ones are honestly some of my favorite. The crazy wipe and the fast wipe are super, super fire. So we need to find some ways to include these for sure. So I know one of them's vertical, and I think like from falling to this clip would be a good vertical one. So let's find the one that's vertical. You can see it's previewing. That's the sideways one. That's the vertical one. So let's do that. And as you can see, these are all customizable too. So you can change the motion blur, the directional blur, and then also a flash if you want, and even the motion blur. So it has more or less motion blur. We definitely need something right here. Let's try this quick zoom with a hit. Let's apply that here too. That was super fire. And I really like the way you can control this. So you can see if you do slow and apply it, you can see that the transition will take longer. So see how that takes longer. And then say we were to go fast, it's gonna be a lot shorter of a transition too. So that's something that's really useful. Let's go and apply that here on fast. I love these wipes at the end so much. Yeah, those are hard. Let's go ahead and find something like just little hits right here, like at the beginning where there's like these little like 808 kick hits. Like those three right there. So the first one's here. We need something very, very subtle, like soft. Let's see what soft looks like. That's probably perfect actually. Let's do soft V2, make it fast so it's really quick. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's perfect. And then we'll do medium for the second one, and then we'll do slow for the third. So they kind of like build up a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe we'll take that back. We'll do fast, medium, fast. So there's just a little bit of difference between them. There's one that I didn't hear. It's actually right here. Let's go ahead and do slow for this one. Let's see it. Now you can see I want to add some more shakes and wipes here where the CRT is, but because it's going to like interfere with these layers, we're going to go ahead and turn off a V2 and then go to V4. And now we can go ahead and apply some of these. Let's do these wipes. Those wipes are crazy. We'll do one here. There's like one here. There's a hit here. We need to definitely take advantage of something. Shutter wipe. I think these wipes here are a little bit different. It takes just a little bit of playing. Let's do something with like flashes. What about a basic flash transition? That adds a little bit of energy. So as you're about to see, the zooms and the shakes and the hits and the wipes, all that stuff has allowed me to add so much more energy to my edit, and it's not that time consuming of a process, especially using FASTFX. I'll have it linked down below. Like I said, if you're in Premiere Pro, you're trying to add energy, it's an absolute no-brainer plugin. It's gonna be part of my workflow moving forward because there's really nothing like this in Premiere Pro. So shout out Tiny Tapes for creating that. Like I said, I'll have it linked down below with a code for $5 off. You're gonna be supporting Tiny Tapes and then also myself as a creator. So yeah, go ahead and check it out if you're interested. But I wanna go ahead and real quick before we wrap up the video, just show you a final before and after. So let's go ahead and show you the before and then we'll show you the after one more time just cause. I'm a type of nigga beat my case and a motherfucking judge never saw my face up now. I know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. Bitch, we in Philly with 3,000 rounds. Nobody want smoke, we got beef out of town. Niggas be so you can see still a clean edit, nothing necessarily wrong with it. But if you're trying to go add a bunch of energy to your edit, this with shakes, zooms, flashes. This is the clear way to do it, and this is the final product.
I'm the type of nigga beat my case and the motherfucking judge never saw my face. Up now. I know some niggas that think I'm a clown. That's cool, this money can get you down. Bitch, we in Philly with 3,000 rounds. Nobody want smoke, we got beef out town. Niggas.
And that's it. That's a wrap on the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, and if you're not subscribed, be sure to do that because I drop videos like this all the time. But I will see you in the next one. Peace.